Who dat to the Who Dat Nation? Welcome to the Who Dat Say podcast, your podcast for the New Orleans Saints here on the KB Radio Network. I am your fellow Who Dat and host, Kevin Reed, and we are fresh off of the New Orleans Saints being just flat out embarrassed over there in Inglewood, California by the Los Angeles Rams 34-10. And the score doesn't reflect that butt whooping that the Rams put on the Saints. This was embarrassing. This is probably, in my humble opinion, the worst loss in Saints history. This was just, they got outclassed in every single aspect of this game. Let me put it like this. If you are an avid listener to the show, who I greatly appreciate you for your support, you know I normally wait to the end of the game, or end of the show, to give my grades, where we grade the offense, defense, special teams, and coaching. I'm not going to do that today. We're going to do it right now. All F's. I'm not even going to waste time and go through to the end to leave you in suspense. We're going to spoil it right now. All F's. I'm not even doing grades. Nothing worked today. Nothing. Not one aspect of this game I can look at and say, okay, we got something we can build on here. Nothing. The offense looks worse than what it looked in the past few weeks, and that's not a shot at Tyler Shough. That he has nothing to do with it. Actually, it just confirmed my initial complaints about this team. I've been saying all year, when you had all of these people who are just waving the Tyler Shough flag, like, oh man, we need to start him. He's the guy. We need a spark from Tyler Shough. He could be that spark that jolts this team forward. What are you talking about? That's people who don't know football. That's people who just look at a player and think that, voila, he's going to touch the field and everything all of a sudden turns to gold. He has the Midas touch. That's not how football works. He is not the type of player now. I mean, he's a rookie. There's no rookie. No rookie has ever entered the league and just took the league by storm as soon as he touched the field, with the exception of one that I can think of, and that's Cam Newton. Cam Newton had probably the best debut the first 2 weeks of the season or of his career when he played for Carolina. I think he threw for 400 yards in each of his first two starts at Carolina, and he just had a future Hall of Fame career from there on. You know, bringing the team to a Super Bowl and whatnot. And that's a man he had less help. He never had help, to be honest with you. He never had any star receivers at Carolina, but he still did what he did. But with the exception of him, there's no other rookie quarterback who has entered the league and just made his team better. Patrick Mahomes didn't do it. Tom Brady didn't do it. Peyton Manning didn't do it. Matter of fact, Peyton Manning led the lead in interceptions his first year. He had more interceptions than touchdowns. But nobody was expecting Tyler Shough. At least nobody with common sense expected Tyler Shough to be this just all-world quarterback. And if you don't have playmakers on your team, even if he is an all-world quarterback, it wasn't going to matter. It wasn't going to make a difference. And the team looked exactly the same. It's nothing. There is nothing that Tyler Shough brought to this team to whereas I can say, okay, we made the right move starting him, pulling Spencer Rattler and starting him. Let me clear something up to everybody. And I hate this, man. I hate this, and I hate the word hate. But that just goes to show you how much I hate this. I hate the fact that we got to do a Spencer Rattler versus Tyler Shough debate. I can't stand that, because It's neither of those quarterbacks' fault. Me personally, I have nothing against Tyler Shough. I think he has the capability of being a decent quarterback in this league. I think Spencer Rattler also has the capability of being a decent quarterback in this league. The problem isn't them. And I think a lot of people are getting lost in the narrative throughout the Who Dat Nation. Stop comparing those two. Stop pitting them against each other. That's not the issue. Them being the quarterback is not the issue. The issue is the fact that this team, this organization, decided to run out a second-year player and a rookie player and have them compete for the starting position. Not having a veteran quarterback to come in that these young men can learn under. They can get all of the ins and outs. They can figure out how the NFL ins and outs work. They don't have that. They never had that, and unfortunately, they won't have that because this team decided to run with a bunch of young players. And for the most part, I hate to say it, but these players are done. They are ruined. They are ruined. Spencer Rattler is ruined. He's done in this league. Definitely in New Orleans. He's done. It's going to take a lot to get his confidence back, due to this. Now, he could probably pull a Sam Darnold and go somewhere else and get paid and be successful. I hope and pray that he does, but it's not going to be here. Same thing with Tyler Shough. Tyler Shough is going to be ruined because who is he learning from? I mean, honestly, who is teaching Tyler Shough? Kellen Moore? Nussmeier? Who is teaching him? These are two failed quarterbacks in the league, former quarterbacks in the league. Let's not get past that. Oh, okay. Kellen Moore, he's a successful offensive coordinator. Yeah, he won a Super Bowl with the Eagles. Let me make it clear to y'all. That was fool's gold. We were all fooled by it. Not just you, me. We were all fooled by it. But the reality is, this dude can't coach, bro. It was so blatant today. It was, the signs were there, periodically in the first 8 weeks of this season. But in this week 9 matchup against the Rams, it was on full display. This dude cannot coach. Sean McVay made Kellen Moore look like a boy out there. He looked like a little kid. No imagination, no game plan. He went into this just no sense of urgency, nothing, man. It was like, what is this team? What is this team? This is the same thing I've been crying out for all season. What is this team? What is this team's identity? This team doesn't have one. Kellen Moore has not coached these guys. They don't practice. They can't practice. It's impossible that this team actually runs a conventional practice every week because this team doesn't know what they're doing. Nobody runs routes correctly. Nobody lines up correctly. Nobody is disciplined as far as penalties are concerned. Nobody is on the same page. There's no chemistry with players. There's no fire. There's no energy. There's nothing. I promise to God, this is the worst team in football. And you can look at the Browns. You can look at Tennessee. You can even look at the Jets and think that they're the worst team in football. I would disagree. I would disagree with you so hard. The Saints are the worst team in football, hands down. And I'm counting front office, coaching, and players. The trifecta. Everybody. Nobody wants to be here. You can just feel it, man. The players on this team just don't want to be here. I've never seen Alvin Kamara look so dejected in my life. The defense looks uninspired. I mean, there's no fire at all with this team. Nobody comes to play. You'll get a flash, a play or two, I guess, when their manhood kicks in and like, look, I got to make a play here. This is enough. But It's just one or two plays, and that's it. After that, they disappear. They beat their quarter. Okay, at least I did that, and then they'll move on to just doing nothing. This team today against the Rams was an embarrassment to watch. It was an embarrassment to watch this game. And if it wasn't for this show, I wouldn't have watched it. I would have stopped in the second quarter because I knew it was over. To be honest with you, I knew it was over that first drive. The first drive, I knew it was over. But nonetheless, the New Orleans Saints rookie quarterback Tyler Shough made his first start today, as we all know. But you had a not so rookie quarterback on the other side with Matthew Stafford, who made his 230th start versus Tyler Shough's first. Matthew Stafford looks like the greatest quarterback ever to touch the field today. He went off on the New Orleans Saints, and that was all. Basically, everything, all the work he did was in the first quarter or the first half. They took their foot off the gas in the second half because it was what was the point? It didn't make sense to go hard in the paint in that second half because the Saints weren't doing nothing. The Saints weren't doing nothing to deter the Rams or put any pressure on the Rams. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. The offense couldn't even stay on the field. The offense was on the field 16 minutes. 16 minutes out of 60. They can only manage to stay on the field for 16 of those minutes. I mean, come on. There was nothing. They had one drive, and that was the drive at the end of the half where they scored the touchdown. That was it. And you can make an argument that was because the Rams were in a prevent defense. You know, they weren't trying to do anything spectacular defensively. They was in the same defense, same formation. And so, whatever. But I'll give you credit. Tyler Shough made some really impressive throws in that drive in the game. Tyler Shough wasn't the problem. Which is always my argument every week. The quarterback isn't the problem. It doesn't matter who's in there. That's not the issue. The issue is the play calling. The play calling sucks. And the funny part, before I came on to record, I'm looking online. I'm looking at some comments and reactions from the Who Dat Nation. And it's like, man, I wish people would really listen to this show because I've been saying this all year. They're complaining about the play calling like this is a revelation this week. This is the same play calling. We're getting the same Kellen Moore playbook from week 1 to now. There has been no difference. The most telling thing was that fourth down where they had Taysom Hill in the game. And everybody and they mama knew that Taysom Hill was going to run the ball. And guess what? They stopped it. Why? Because everybody knew what they were doing. There's no imagination. There's no trying to throw off this. There's nothing that Kellen Moore brings to the table that would strike fear in an opposing team's defense. Absolutely nothing. Me or you could go out there and coach this team play better. We'll come up with some plays. We'll write some plays in the dirt like Bill Walsh did once. You know, we'll do some things that can kind of strike some fire in this offense. This is the most bland, vanilla offense I've ever seen come from any team in the NFL. I've seen college games where offenses were more dynamic than it. I've seen high school games. I'm sorry. I've seen high school games more dynamic of it. They have more dynamic of an offense than the New Orleans Saints. Nothing about this offense is innovative. Today was the first day. I've been holding back for 8 weeks, but this was the first day I actually blurted it out loud, and I couldn't believe I was saying it. And I also couldn't believe that this is what I believed. It was I would rather have Pete Carmichael as our offensive play caller. I kid you not. This ain't even a joke. I'm not even saying this to be dramatic. I'm saying this because I believe it. I would rather P. Carmichael. I would rather Clint Kubiak, whatever his name was, Clint Kubiak, return. I mean, he didn't adjust nothing, but at least he was trying. At least he was doing things different. This is the same. This is so easy. When you look at our opponents week in and week out, you ever notice that the defense, they don't even break a sweat? It's like they know what the Saints are about to run. They're never caught off guard by anything. Nothing shocks them. Nothing catches them by surprise. They know what's coming at them every single play. In short, Kellen Moore, he got to go. I've seen enough. I know he's not one and done. I know he's not going nowhere. I'm not naive enough to believe that the Saints, Mickey Loomis, Gail Benson, whoever, is going to get rid of Moore after one season. I know that's not going to happen, but it needs to. He is not the guy. He is not ready. Kellen Moore may become a good head coach one day, but it's not going to come anytime soon with him standing on the sidelines as the New Orleans Saints head coach. He is lost, man. Kellen Moore looks like he's a deer in headlights when they ever show him on, whenever the camera is pointed at him, he just looks lost. And the body language, everything. Speaking of body language, let me get off of Kellen Moore because I get angry thinking about him. When you ever notice the body language of everybody on the sideline? Whenever they show the sideline of the Saints, there is nothing, man. It's like dead. It's like The Walking Dead over there. There's no emotion. There's no fire. There's nobody mad because we're losing. Somebody throw a helmet or something. The only emotion I ever saw was last week when Spencer Rattler got pulled and he threw his helmet. That was the first time I saw emotion come from that sideline. Other than that, nobody is mad. You're not mad that you're 1-8. Nobody is upset. Shed a tear. Somebody get their head, duck their head in the palm of their hands or something. Just disappointed at what's taking place week in and week out. There's nothing. Nothing. That's not to say maybe they get in the locker room. Maybe they're mad. Maybe they're taking paint off the walls. Maybe they're punching holes in the wall. I don't know. But you don't see that on the sideline. Get the team fired up. Something. Get in somebody's face. Nothing. Absolutely nothing from this team. I saw Dennis Allen. And once again, never thought I would say this, but I saw Dennis Allen getting people faces. I saw Dennis Allen get mad. I've seen players when Dennis Allen was the coach get mad. What is this? What is this? Is this a real team? It feels like we're still stuck in preseason mode. Nobody has tapped anybody on the Saints team and let them know, these games count. This isn't preseason anymore. That's how they play. This team is an embarrassment, man. This week here, bro, really put the nail in the coffin for me. And this is the most embarrassing team, worst team in the NFL right now. Hands freaking down, bruh. Unbelievable. We're not gonna stick around too long with this. This is, because I don't know what to say. I honestly don't know what to say. There's nothing positive. There is absolutely nothing positive that I took away from this game today. Nothing, not one thing. Let's go through the team leaders or the game leaders. Let's begin with passing. Starting with the New Orleans Saints, Tyler Shough in his first start, he was 15 for 24, 176 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. And I give a mulligan to that intercept. It was a 4th down play trying to make something happen at the end of the game. Whatever. For the Rams, my God, man, Matthew Stafford, he was a surgeon. He was a surgeon today. He was 24 for 32, 281 yards, and 4 touchdowns today. Leading rusher for the New Orleans Saints was Taysom Hill. He had 4 carries for 30 yards. And 21 of those 30, or was it 27 of those 30 came off of one big run. So there you have that. For the Rams, it was Kyron Williams. He had 25 carries for 114 yards and a touchdown. Look, you have a rookie quarterback in his first start, and you don't run the ball. You don't run the ball. Kelly Moore got to go. Leading receiver for the New Orleans Saints was Rashid Shaheed, who is on the trading block. So there's a possibility this will be his last appearance as a New Orleans Saints. I hope not personally, but we'll see come Tuesday when the trade deadline hit. But today he had 5 catches for 68 yards. For the Rams, another one, Puka Nacua. He had 7 catches for 95 yards and a touchdown. Puka Nacua made Kool-Aid McKendry looks. I felt so bad for Kool-Aid. He took all the sugar out that Kool-Aid. It was dyed water today. he made Kool-Aid look like a little boy out there on that field. Now, granted, Puka Nacua do that to everybody, and so I'm not gonna pick on Kool-Aid too much, but man. Well, at least not like Matthew Stafford was, because they went at him. They went at poor Kool-Aid today. I felt so bad for him. But Puka Nacua is a grown man. I'll just put it like that. Sacks today. Leading sack getter for the New Orleans Saints was Jonah Williams, defensive end, with 1 sack, who I have never heard of until today. I didn't know he was on the team. I didn't know who this was. I'm just being completely transparent with you all. I had no idea who this guy was, but he came in and got a sack. Nice play, too. And immediately went back to the sideline, like we couldn't use him anymore in the game. For the Rams, Brandon Forsee, the defensive end, with 1 sack. Also, leading tackler today was Demario Davis. He had 13 tackles today. For the Rams, it was Lehman with 5 tackles today, and he forced that fumble on Alvin Kamara. Real good play. Punched out the ball, which pretty much sealed the game, but the game was over long before then. But any hope that the Saints had were dashed away with that fumble. Team stats today. This is where it gets really ugly. You think that score is ugly. Oh boy, wait till you see these stats. Total yardage. Rams had 438 total yards today. Saints 224. Turnovers, Saints had 2. First downs. The Rams had 30 first downs today. Saints had 10. I can't make this up. Penalties today. Saints had 5 penalties to the Rams 3. Third down conversions. The Rams were 50%. They were 7 for 14. Saints 2 for 9. Fourth down conversions. The Rams were 100%. They went for it twice and converted. Saints went for it twice. Didn't get either one. So there you go. Red zone. Rams reached the red zone 5 times and scored 4 out of those 5. Saints reached the red zone 3 times and only scored once. Here's the go-getter. I mentioned it earlier. Time of possession. Rams had the ball for 43 minutes and 53 seconds. Saints had the ball for 16 minutes and 7 seconds. I mean, and you expect me to say something positive about this team today? They did nothing, absolutely nothing. Just to keep you updated, in case you have any sliver of hope of us getting this division. The NFC South standings as it stands right now, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are 6-2. The Carolina Panthers, who won today, by the way, are 5-4. I think Atlanta plays tomorrow. No, they played all. They lost today. They're 3-5, but the Saints are 1-8. Yeah, man. Just to reiterate the grades: offense F, defense F, special teams F, and coaching F plus. So the overall grade F. I'm done with them, man. I'm done with this team. Still gonna follow, still gonna cheer, unfortunately, but emotionally, I'm done. And I'm not even emotionally upset about this game because I knew this was gonna be a slaughter. But I was hoping that the Saints would have a little fight in them. I'm more disappointed at the fact that they didn't have any fight in them. There's no fight in this team. There is no fight. There's no emotion. There's no nothing. Like, oh, we lost. Okay. Well, Carolina next week. Well, it is what it is. We're going to lose that. Do you think we're going to beat Carolina? No, we're not. We're not. It would shock me. It would generally shock me if the Saints were to beat Carolina. To be honest with you, it would shock me if the Saints get any win for the remainder of this season. I don't see it happening, people. And it hurts me to say that. It hurts me to say that. But that's how I feel right now. And that's not me having recency bias looking at this game and coming to this conclusion. I've been saying this all year. There has been no change. There has been absolutely no development of this team. Nothing has improved week in and week out. To be honest with you, they look worse every week. Every week they look worse. I mean, we were at least scoring 17 points or 16 points a game. We can't even do that now. We can't do nothing. We cannot move the ball. We can't even run. We can't run. It's unbelievable. This is the most unbelievable football team in the league. Nah, bruh. This coach is not it. And I don't know how this is going to change. I don't know if you can change it. At this point, it don't even make sense. I don't even know what to do to start a change. Where do you start? Where do you start in free agency? Where do you start in the draft? Where do you start when it comes to the coaching? Who head roll? There's got to be some accountability. And let me say this. Before we roll out of here. You know what upset me? You know what upset me the most about the Spencer Rattler benching? I knew it was coming. Everybody knew it was coming. Spencer Rattler knew it was coming. That eventually Tyler Shough was going to have to get in the game because you have to know what you got there. You're going to have to know what did you spend this early pick on as a quarterback. Is this the future of the team? I get that. I'm with that. The problem I had was the narrative that he's the reason. He being Spencer Rattler was the reason because of the turnovers the last 2 weeks. Yes, they were bad. Yes, he played horrible. Those were the worst 2 games of his career. Yeah, and did he deserve it? Sure. But here's the problem I have. You showed accountability for Spencer Rattler. Where was the accountability for Blake Grupe when he misses kicks every other week? Multiple kicks. Where's the accountability when Juwan Johnson fumbles every single week? Where was the accountability when the offensive line are missing blocks or a false starting or whatever the case may be? Where's that accountability when Chris Olave is dropping balls? Easy catches. Where was that accountability? If you're going to show it on one, you got to do it for all. And that's what upset me. It wasn't because it was Spencer Rattler. I could care less. It was the fact that you didn't do it for nobody else. You purposely threw that man under the bus just so you can put your guy in. My problem with that is just start the guy from the beginning if that was the case. You didn't have to blatantly assassinate this man's career, because that's what you did. It just to push your point across. Oh, well, we're going to give him a shot. We can never say he can never use that. We never gave him a shot. That's what that was all about. But you didn't give him a shot. You didn't give Tyler Shough a shot, to be honest with you, because you have done nothing to help your young quarterbacks. The biggest help for a young quarterback is a run game, and you have not established that in this on this team at all. Even a good defense, something to help this team, or help your quarterback, I should say. You have done nothing to help these guys, and you're going to ruin two pretty decent quarterbacks, potentially great quarterbacks. Who knows? But this team is destined for a few years of failure under this leadership. And it really, I'm picking on Kellen Moore, but it really starts with Mickey Loomis. I just haven't mentioned him because we're beating on a dead horse at this point with him. That dude is horrible. That he is the worst GM in football. He does not deserve to be a general manager. Every boneheaded decision he has made over the past 4 to 5 years have been wrong. He has yet to make a good decision. If you can find one in the last 5 years, one good decision he's made, I would love to hear it. I would love, please bring it to my memory, because I don't recall one good decision that was made. Not a draft pick, not a hire, nothing. Not a trade, nothing. Nothing has worked out for this team due to the decisions that were made by Mickey Loomis. Once again, if you know one, let me know. How do you let me know? Email the show, kbradiopodcast@gmail.com. You can also search for the show on all social media platforms. Just search for the KB Radio Network. Also, don't forget about YouTube. Subscribe to the KB Radio Network channel and like this video if you don't mind. Don't forget about the 5 stars, the reviews, and sharing this show if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, wherever you are currently listening to the Who Dat Say podcast. Your podcast for the New Orleans Saints here on the KB Radio Network. Everybody, thank you for joining me for this recap of the Week 9 slaughter of the New Orleans Saints as the New Orleans Saints lose to the Los Angeles Rams 34-10. Well, that's that. But I'll tell you what, even though this team could kick rocks, next week we'll be back. We'll be back to preview the Saints versus the Carolina Panthers. I don't even know. I'm gonna need a week. I'm gonna need a few days to get prepared for that show, because right now I don't want to talk about it. It's nothing to talk about. It's really nothing to talk about. There's nothing about this team that's encouraging. But we'll see. You know, the trade deadline is Tuesday, so maybe the team will make some trades. Maybe they'll do something that will help this team move forward in the future. Nothing for this year, because this year's a wash. But who knows? Who knows? We'll talk about that, or we'll talk about the lack of movement in the trade. Now, if they do nothing by the trade deadline, they really do got to let this dude go, bro. Mickey Loomis really got to go, because at this point, you are telling everybody, I don't care. I don't care. Or he's doing it out of spite. And if that's what you're doing it for, you in the wrong line of work. And so with all that being said, I'm still going to come back. We're going to preview the Week 10 matchup against the Carolina Panthers, and we'll see from there. Even though I'm mad, even though I might be a little sad, I'm still going to be screaming, who that?